Bingo!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, you fucking legends. We are back for another episode. We tossed the idea around. Are we going to do this episode? Are we not going to do this episode? For those of you who were with us on Saturday, we spent a whopping 12 hours, give or take, probably a collective... There we go. Okay.
I don't have no fingers. I can't count that high. Got to take off my sock.
Give or take maybe a collective hour between you and I, like running to take a piss or I had to let the dogs out and things like that. So, there were some dead spaces. You and the Wonder Twins. What do you call them? The Terror Twins.
Yeah, the Terror Twins. Most of the time I can get on here, no matter who the guest is, and I can talk to them and go through. I expected them to go at each other's throats, and they didn't. So I was like, "Oh."
So
rare Rod freeze up right there. You know, it's I got to straighten up my act.
You guys seen any good movies lately, or
have you told them I call them the Terror Twins? I think that's
no, I haven't yet. I want to find the right time to drop that on them. Like, hey. All right. When they're bickering at each other the most, I'll be like, hey, Rod thinks you guys are twins, so... Is that why you guys argue so much? Is because you're the same?
Explode.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not trying to get in the middle of that scrap. That's all I'm saying. But, overall, I think we had a huge success with the marathon episode.
Absolutely.
Raised just shy of $800 between the three charities. So we'll be on the lookout for those people that we're going to be getting t-shirts to and all that good jazz. Congrats to the Butlers, I believe, who won Kit's prize, the whiskey or bourbon that Kit picked out, and congratulations to Mama Steele for putting the fucking hammer down and donating.
So party at Mama Steele's house?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Email later.
Yeah. She doesn't know is I had to taste it to make sure that everything was up to par.
Yes.
I don't want
to much left.
Yeah.
Just a taste.
Yeah. Tasted good, by the way. You're going to enjoy this, and there's just like a thimble full of whiskey left in there.
Yeah, I thought the episode, I thought it was phenomenal. It went so much more smooth than what we both had previously thought. I mean, our guests were awesome. Our trivia was fantastic. And then the best part of all, we were able to help out a good cause, while just on here bullshitting. And that's what it's all about. And that increased my love for what we do, like, significantly. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's hard sometimes doing shows week in, week out. When we're able to give back and something like that, it just really makes you realize that, you know what? It's all worth it, baby.
All worth it. All worth it.
I'll bet.
That 12 grueling hours. And I'll tell you what, up until 7 p.m., we were rolling. 7 p.m. hit, and I was like, I don't know what to talk about anymore.
You want to see a stinker, you go from 7 to 8. It's just you. So, see any good movies lately?
Yeah. Let's just go ahead and loop this mashup clip, and we'll see you guys at 7:55 when we close this thing out finally. So, no, but like you said, I mean, you said it perfectly. Great success, amazing guests, amazing donators, everybody who did get involved in the charity, and we're going to have to do some internal discussion if that's going to be a yearly thing, how we're going to structure that going forward if we decide to do that, because...
This is how the conversation went at the end. You looked at me and go, we might do this next year. I'm like, you know what? Ask me in 3 or 4 months. I'll commit to 8 now. Ask me in 3 or 4 months, and I'll probably commit to 12. Okay. Just let it not be so fresh.
Yeah. Because I mean, at the end, like it really was like weirdly grueling to get through. Like
just the last half. Like
yeah, it really was. It didn't really. I didn't notice it until about hour 8, I think, is when it hit me, and I was like,
"Our first break, our first break, we needed it." But I was like, "Okay,
yeah, buckle up.
We're in the thick of it.
In
the thick of it.
Yeah, okay. We do have a lot to talk about today, though. Roddy, you and I are going to go see Spider-Man on Friday with the wives, and
That's
pretty
right.
excited about that. A lot of conversation going to be encompassing that discussion and Marvel and what they're doing going forward. Strictly theoretical going forward, by the way.
Kudos to the wives, third and fourth wheeling it. I mean,
I know, right? Yeah, this is gonna be a weird experience for them. I don't know if they realize that yet, but
our seats are actually somewhere else in the theater, and theirs are somewhere else. So I mean, they're separate, but I mean, they'll figure it out.
Yeah. We actually have tickets to the 8 p.m. show. They have tickets to the 9:55. So that way we could watch it twice. We could get our experience,
That's right.
And then we can
That's
go
right.
back. But yeah, I'm excited about that. We're going to talk about that a lot today. I mean, you and I have thrown a lot of theories at each other just in today and what could potentially be happening going forward. Who's involved? What's involved? Absolutely. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about Hawkeye. There's a lot of tie into Hawkeye. Are we moving? Like, are the Netflix series? Are they moving to the MCU? Is this what we're doing now?
Looking good. They're looking good. And a lot of people don't realize too that a lot of the conversation even when I left the state and I was gone for a while, a lot of the conversation between me and you daily would be, "Hey, what do you think about what do you think Star-Lord's going to do, huh?
Yeah.
What do you think about this?"
Yeah. Okay, hear me out. Clint Barton as Ronan versus Clint Barton as Hawkeye. Who's winning? Okay, let's talk about it. Outside of that, we do have some movie trivia that's going to take place today. I know you're excited for that.
Also Spider-Man related.
Yeah. There's a lot of times where we mix it up, we mash it up, but this thing is so hot right now. We're going to ride this wave and we're going to discuss it. We do have a couple other articles that I've collected across the past week, though. Hey, Pluto's a planet again. Hey, congratulations, Pluto. And let's be honest, these are if we're going to even get to these conversations because there's so much to unravel that's taking place in the MCU that I don't even know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Listen, our consistent viewers understand how the show goes, okay? We might get to these topics. We might not. You know what? If you're really outraged that we don't get to a topic we talk about up front, throw it in the comments and we will damn sure get to it next time.
Absolutely. And by the way, so mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. But are zebra finches the powerhouses of the cell? They could sing a song. Ooh, just this beautiful melody. And it alters the state of the cells in an unhatched baby bird. Hey, there's some hot weather coming, so you guys are going to have to do some shuffling around. What? That's a real thing.
Brr.
I think we finally answered the discussion of how all of these lab rat experiments are taking place because there's a rat that was taught how to play. Oh shoot! Now I'm gonna forget it. Like Doom or something like that.
Yeah, it was Doom.
Doom 2. Yep. Doom 2. And guess what? Hey, he's gonna start his own Twitch stream so they can continue to fund this project that is taking place. So. Twitch, I don't know. Maybe we stream to Twitch, so I don't want their standards to go up because we probably won't be involved in that if that's the case. But
just in case, yeah, I always feel like I got to jump in here on these when you talk about them because I'm like, oh, I got shit I got to say, and I'm like, all right, hold on.
Wait, we're not there yet. Yeah, I'm setting us up for later, buddy. I'm setting us up because, and here's the other problem is you're going to completely forget about what we talked about in the very beginning. To where that thought is not going to come closer when we actually discuss it. Haunted American places, like the top 10 haunted American places we're going to talk about if we get some time. And then we're gonna wrap that up with a thing that somebody put out on TikTok. Nick Cage as Nick Cage. How exciting of a movie would that be? I doubt it's a real thing, but how incredible would it be if Nicolas Cage played himself in like an over-the-top movie about Nicolas Cage?
Is it just going to be a National Treasure movie?
I think it is. Yeah, but we'll look at the TikTok. I don't know the volume situation. I still don't know if that works, how it works when I share things. So Somebody will have to let us know once we get to that point, if we get to that point. But let's get into it, man. Okay. All this time, I say, hey, you got to watch this. Hey, you got to watch this. Hey, you got to watch that. Hey, you got to watch this. You've done that now, okay?
Absolutely.
You've done that now. You're caught up on the Hawkeye series, which I should say with a grain of salt because you binged the entire 5 episodes that are out right now just in today's time.
Absolutely.
So although you did catch up, yes, this was like you've just been itching to talk about it thing, or you caught wind that might be something related to Spider-Man in it. So you decided you would in fact watch it. What do you think so far? Do you like the direction that they're taking with Hawkeye?
Dude, I think Hawkeye might be. I'm trying to think of another TV series that Disney, like a Marvel TV series. I think that might be my favorite right now.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's up there. I think highly of Luke Cage. I think highly of Loki. I love Captain America, Winter Soldier, love that. But it's like this one, I love the aspect because you're getting to dive into Clint as a person too. And some of the mannerisms he had in Endgame and stuff like that didn't make sense to me at the time. I'm like, oh, that's just who he is as a person. And the banter between him and Kate Bishop is just, it's awesome. It's got that Marvel fun humor to it, that kind of quirky family kind of feel to it, but it also still has that Marvel, kick ass moments too. And it's like, that's awesome. I love it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we'll do everything to not give any spoilers, but just on the off chance, we will announce that there may be spoilers in this as we're kind of discussing it. Maybe something that we don't think is important turns out to be important later on, and we get caught in a little accidentally spoiled something kind of thing. But
we won't talk about the final scene of Hawkeye.
Yeah, of this latest episode, especially, sure. But yeah, I agree. It's one of those characters where it's like his entire run in the Avengers so far has been like, well, this guy fucking stinks, basically. And it's him and his wife convincing him that no, honey, you're important. You're needed. All these superheroes, they need a guy with a bow and arrow. That's what they need to really gel this team together. And now you're starting to see like, oh, dude is a badass. Like he kind of doesn't fuck around. They really go into depth. They barely scratch the surface with what he was doing as Ronin in Endgame, and now they're like, hey, why don't you come back with us? Yeah, why don't you come back to the real world? This poor girl gets caught up in this whole thing. Her potential future father-in-law deal takes place, and now she's like, whoa, there's a lot of sketchy shit taking place here. Accidentally ends up teaming up with Hawkeye, aka Ronan, aka Clint Barton, and they go on a whirlwind holiday adventure. And when you first watch the trailers, you're like, this looks cheesy. Like this is going to be some like knockoff holiday TV series, and so far it hasn't been that, which I can certainly appreciate.
I think too. I think they did, and I think one of the reasons it draws me to it is think about it. The reason we all love Batman too is because he's so relatable, right? Like he's a normal person just with gadgets, shit like that. So is
he's also Hawkeye. A billionaire, so maybe not that relatable.
Right. Okay, all right. But I mean, Hawkeye's like your average kind of guy, just with this ability to be really good with arrows. But it really shows the human aspect of everything that's going on right now, because you got to think it's showing the detriment that it didn't have like on the Avengers as a whole, but on his family, on him, on his mental state, especially about losing Natasha. Like that's the type of shit that really draws you in. And then the comedy stuff is great for, okay, it's not too dark. It's not DC. It's
yeah, exactly. Where they're like, I think it was episode 4. Yeah, we're partners. I wouldn't really call us partners. Well, we're friends. that are partners. I wouldn't even call us friends.
Well, that she rolls up. She goes, "Yeah, best friend and partner for the Avengers Hawkeye. I'm here on a mission from him."
Yeah, there's an Avenger in my ear right now. Yeah. Yeah, and they really do kind of like play up this whole fangirl thing where it's like she is capable of doing a lot of the things, and he's kind of slowly beginning to teach her because it's
like
it's flipping the bottle cap, turning the TV off, and everything like that. That was pretty slick. He's like, she's like, tell me what else you can do. He's like, I could take this ornament here, and I could hit somebody from 40 yards out or whatever he says. Yeah, and they're like, bullshit.
I bet they.
I'm not gonna knock you out. Yeah,
I bet they pay that off later. He does it, and he'll go, "See."
yeah, probably.
Got to
call back to that moment. Yeah. But then he's like, she's like, no, you can't prove it. And he's like, well, there's nobody here but you. I'm not gonna knock you out. And then he takes that bottle cap and it ricochets through the hallway and turns the TV on, and he's just like,
now, is it just me, or did you really feel for him, like wanting him to get home to see his family for Christmas? Like that whole time, I'm like, dude, you got to get home.
That's the part for me that makes it very real, because it's like, when we had Kit on the marathon episode, one of the questions I asked was like, what do you think it would be like being like married to a superhero? And we're seeing that. We're seeing firsthand, like, hey, like this would destroy normal family life. Like, his wife is very understanding, and I think there's some sketchy stuff going on about her that we don't know about.
Really?
I mean, how was she able to look that guy up?
Well, you got to think, Clint, the only person in his life he's 100% honest with, it appears, is his wife. So she probably has access to all his friends, all his technology, stuff like that too. And I love that dynamic that's the only person, because later I'm sure someone's going to threaten her life, and then we're going to see full Ronin out for blood. You know what I mean?
See, and I thought for a second that we were going to see Kate Bishop kind of toe that line, where like the whole dynamic with her and her mom's boyfriend or fiance, whatever.
A weird mustache guy, dude. He just
yeah. Oh, you disagree? Okay, we got some hecklers in the crowd today.
Which part here?
Yeah. Hey, listen, we're spewing a lot of things in a short period of time. You're going to have to be a little more narrow in what you're trying to tell us. But I don't know. I don't know. I think now you have the whole. So for those of you who saw Black Widow, for those of you who saw Falcon and Winter Soldier,
have you seen it? Have you seen Black Widow?
I did. Once it was free on Netflix or Disney Plus, I did decide to watch it.
Was it good?
It's a big setup. Like I said, I was telling you earlier, it's a whole that whole movie is to set up the sister, which we're now seeing.
No, I agree with you, but I think if someone hurt his wife, I think he goes back to Ronin. Like, I think he would absolutely just go on a murder spree, because that's his wife or kids are the most important thing to him. You know what I mean? That's originally why he went to Ronin. And
here's the thing too, is it's like, okay, so let's say this, maybe he doesn't go back to Ronin, but then he like tarnishes his Hawkeye persona because he gets caught in the heat of something and kills somebody with a bow and arrow instead of the sword. Now all these people that they're building up, him seeing him as a hero throughout the series, now they're like, oh, this guy's an absolute piece of shit. And then everybody puts the pieces together. Oh, he's actually Ronin as well. And he gets absolutely exposed, which could, I mean, based on the way this last episode ended, there could be a lot of, but everybody knows that Hawkeye is Clint Barton, but nobody knows that Ronin is Clint Barton.
Right. Well, except for Kate Bishop and his wife.
Yeah. Which we discovered end of last episode. She's asking him all these questions when they're sitting there. They're making margaritas and decorating the tree and everything. And you're like, oh, okay. Like, I think I want to hang out with Hawkeye. He seems like a fun guy.
Absolutely.
He was using the frozen daiquiris as like ice packs.
Put one over his eyes too.
Yeah. I love how they made a little like they played on what his costume is in like the old comic books and everything with the what does she call him, like the wings and everything. Oh, it's a hawk and blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
the H stands for Hawkeye, and it'll be nice and bright purple and all this shit. And he's like, yeah, that's never gonna happen.
Luna
You
cameo. That's all.
You mean Cad T.O.? Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Chock full.
Yeah,
Stay tuned, everybody. We got more to go.
You know the costume's coming. They've already hinted at it. You know it's coming. He'll be.
Yeah, I mean, but they did the same thing with Wolverine. Like at one point, he opens up a briefcase, and it's like the Wolverine outfit is in the briefcase, but we never see him actually wear it, like with the mask and everything.
I would agree, but I think that because the trait, like if you click on Hawkeye, the TV series, you see them both in it, don't you?
Yeah,
like I think you see them both in the purple.
Yeah, but not like his comic book one where he's got a mask and it's got the wings on it and everything, like you would see on the cartoons. But yeah, right. So we'll see him in something like that. Does he fully don what he is in the comics? Probably not.
This commentary
you can only hope.
Great on that.
you can only hope. Yeah, you can only hope. But even just the purple like sleeveless thing that she gives him, because that's what you watch the comics now, and that's what Hawkeye wears.
Mm.
But he's probably just going to be like, not a fucking chance, because they touched on it, in episode 5, which just released today. They come out and he's like, the one guy's like, oh hey, by the way, the suits are ready if you want to take a look at them, and he just kind of brushes it off.
Yeah, he's like, later.
Yeah, because he just got off the phone with his wife again for like the 5th time. Like every episode, he calls his wife, and he's like, hey, I'm not going to be home for Christmas.
By the way, the one who put the one who orchestrated the whole villain that's coming up, like I kind of saw it coming, but I didn't at the same time. You know what I mean?
Whoa! Better back off a little bit on that.
Ooh, okay.
That's the last thing we want to do is piss off that man. By the way, I heard the brews are currently being brewed for those 2 random winners that you and I shouldn't say random, the 2 winners that you and I are going to pick. So
you mean you and me?
Yeah, right. We're the winners here, man.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
But yeah, like you said, I'm not really sure what they're doing with the dog. I think the dog is just kind of like this added little piece that they like to play on for whatever reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe this is like a foreshadowing because that dog's only got one eye, I'm pretty sure. Maybe this is.
Yeah, I thought that too. I didn't know if it was squinting or if it was like, okay, it's only got one eye.
Maybe this is something that happens. Now he's like half deaf and he gets blind to one eye or something like that. That'd be kind of wild.
I mean, Hawkeye's pretty much deaf.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of weird because it's like there's a comic series that runs where Hawkeye goes deaf, and there's a comic series that runs like in Old Man Logan, he's actually blind.
What if they tied that together and they put so they introduced him to Daredevil too, and Daredevil kind of like teaches him how to be blind for a short amount of time with that,
Oh, that'd be wild, wouldn't it?
But he has a hearing problem right now, so how would that work?
Yeah. He's just like, hey, listen, and Hawkeye's like, to fucking what? Okay, I can't hear anything.
I love it. Yeah. I love when they're like, hey, what happened with your hearing? And then it goes flashing through all these fight scenes, and he's like, I don't know. Could have been anything.
Yeah. Do you know when it happened? I can't really pinpoint it. There's a lot of shit that's blown up around my ears and everything like that. I'm glad you did bring up Daredevil because I'm going to continue to say this until I finally rope you into watching it. By the way, there's actually 3 seasons on Netflix. I thought there was only the 2, so halfway through season 2 right now. Frank Castle's a fucking monster. He's on trial.
I love Frank Castle.
They're like, hey, just plead guilty, okay? Like, their defense for him in that case is like he's been through hell. He's been through all this war stuff. They have a neurosurgeon come in and basically explain that he is his mind is in a constant state of chaos. And that's how they're trying to like at least lessen his sentence for killing like all these cartel and biker gang people and all this stuff. And then they put Frank Castle on the stand, and he just sits down, and he's like, I did it. I knew what I was doing. There was no like second doubt about it and all this stuff. And they're like, oh shit. Like the dude is loose, man. And yeah, so you definitely have to watch it. I mean, even in the fight scene in the beginning, I've tried to describe this to you. Like early season 2, there's this fight scene. Punisher, Daredevil, they go at it up on this rooftop. Punisher gets the upper hand, chains Daredevil to like this smokestack, and is trying to explain to him like, "Hey, we're the same. You just Punisher calls Daredevil a half measure. He's like, okay, you put them in prison and they're out in like 2 months because somebody's in their pocket and all this stuff, and they just end up releasing him. He's like me. He's like when they come knocking on my door, they stop. Like they're fucking dead. Yeah, they're fucking dead. But Punisher ends up breaking free. They have this whole fight. Daredevil breaks free. Get this whole fight. Punisher gets injured. Daredevil carries him to the freight elevator, hucks him in it. All you hear is like this whole like army of biker gang coming up the stairs to go fight him. And instead of just getting in the elevator with Punisher, he hits the button, calls it down to the first floor, steps back out of the elevator, cracks his neck, and just fucking beats 5 floors worth of biker gang people. And
I'll have to watch it. I'll have to watch it. I've tried to watch the first episode so many times, but I fall asleep, forget that I'm watching it, or just get bored. So I really need to focus on it.
I'm telling you, and I would say so, especially because where it seems that all this is going, like that series could actually be a key piece into things to go forward in the MCU as a whole.
And that's how you hook me in right there.
Yeah. And by the way, if this was Marvel's plan all along, like for those of you who know what has happened, let's not say anything, in episode 5 of Hawkeye. But for those of you like who are all caught up and everything, like kudos to the MCU. I mean, this was
absolutely
all these Netflix shows are getting canceled. Oh, everybody loved Daredevil. Everybody loved Punisher. You enjoyed Luke Cage. I have my reservations about Luke Cage. Iron Fist
no one enjoyed Iron Fist.
Yeah, Iron Fist could kick rocks. So as far as I'm concerned, maybe there's a recast in the making. And I don't know that he was a bad actor. I don't know that. It's just like it just seems so poorly written, like the entirety of it.
Well, the crazy
fight scenes weren't great.
When you think about foresight and everything, Tom Holland apparently came on and they interviewed him and stuff, and he said that as No Way Home was being shot, they were still making how the movie was going to go. Like they didn't know how the movie was going to go all the way beforehand.
Well, this probably okay. So let's do it. And this probably explains all of the reshooting for Multitude of Madness. Then,
yeah.
Or Multiverse of Madness, not Multitude of Madness. I mean, there is a multitude of madness taking place.
There's a multitude of multiversal madness going on.
That's it. I think that's the new title for some sort of bullshit tongue twister that they give. Too busy drinking Red Stripe. All right. Lay off the Red Stripe there, pal.
That's a Jamaican beer.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, okay. Listen, this is what he decides to do, okay? He texted me the other day. Boy, driving in Jamaica is weird. I'm like, fuck off, dude. You're in Jamaica. Like, what's the problem here?
All this Red Stripe beer tastes like, it's better than...
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it's real difficult to be on a beach somewhere. I don't know. I've heard parts of Jamaica are pretty bad, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's
like when you get out to the resort areas, it's like, hey, stay on the resort. Don't venture off the resort.
Yeah. Unless you're with resort people, Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'd like to see. There's been speculation that Daredevil is going to come back. There's been speculation that Punisher is going to come back. Although, if they water down the Punisher, John Bernthal is going to say, "See you later." Like this needs to be a rated R or rated M series, depending on whether it's going to be on Disney Plus or if it's going to be a movie. Don't do it. don't like. We're all still curious to see what's going to happen to Deadpool now that Disney has the rights to Deadpool. It doesn't appear that anything has changed so far, based on those little like cameo clips and everything.
Give me a Disney dark or Disney at night. You know what I mean? Give me some of that.
Yeah.
Did you eat all the Oreos?
I bet I just. Oh no, this just in. She found out I ate the rest of the Oreos. Uh-oh.
And that concludes today's episode. I'll be looking for a new co-host.
There's just a shoe just comes flying across the room and bats me in the head. But yeah, so I mean, I'm stoked to see Spider-Man 2. Like, listen, we all know that at least one other Spider-Man is going to be in this movie.
I bet they're both.
Whether it's a new Spider-Man, whether here's room for Miles Morales, or here's all these villains that have been in previous Spider-Man movies, but you're going to tell me that Tobey Maguire and or Andrew Garfield aren't going to show up? Bullshit. Yeah. Why would you bring all of these villains in and not another Spider-Man? That makes zero sense whatsoever. And we've all seen that ghost that punches the Lizard right in the face during that kind of what looks like a climactic fight scene, because I forget where that one was released, like Panama or something, and they forgot to CGI out that part.
It's got to be. That had to be done intentionally. Like, you got to think, like, if you don't have someone combing over every second of footage before you release a trailer like that, come on now.
That guy is probably in some Disney dungeon getting bamboo shoots thrown, like just
getting
jabbed
by
through
Cinderella.
his fingernail. Yeah. Just get waterboarded by Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Goofy's over there like fucking yucking it up in the background. Yeah, I don't know. It's so crazy. I mean, it's like a cult at this point. The way that the actors talk about like not giving anything away, and they're making their like press releases closer and closer and closer to when the movie actually comes out, to where there's no room for anything to be spoiled. But you have to appreciate that level of, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for is, like that level of commitment to giving everybody the experience that they deserve.
Absolutely. I was watching one of the other YouTubers that I absolutely love to watch for movie reviews, and he was saying, he messaged people at Disney, and he was like, hey, why was the original press release, why were they only allowed to watch 40 minutes of it? And Disney responded and said, hey, Sony's doing everything right now. We have no idea why Sony's doing it. Sony's doing it. So Sony's keeping all this shit tight to the vest. Only showed 40 minutes of the film to press. So they're of a 2.5-hour movie. Like, what's the point of even going to look at it? You know what I mean?
What if they were like, they respond to this YouTuber and they're like, I don't know, did you think it was a good thing or a bad thing? And they're like, bad thing. And they're like, well, then it was Sony's idea. Yeah. All right, good thing. Well, it was Disney's idea to only show 40 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, they're in such a power position in that whole dynamic.
What was the comment you made to me about, like, Sony's got to make that money? I'm like, yeah, but Disney's going to take 75% of it because
like Disney's the mob boss. Sony's a hitman.
The street level dealer.
Paramount's the hookers that Papa Steele's murking in the streets.
Yep. Put it in the trunk.
By the way, the fact that we had to clarify that during the marathon episode was like, yeah, we got into video games and all this stuff. Yeah, Papa Steele's playing this game and everything. Oh yeah. In the comment, you just see the comments light up. Yeah, I like killing hookers. And we're like, okay, let's be clear about the situation here. Okay.
Got our own vigilante on our hands here.
Yeah. Well, what do you think the reaction would be for like a real life vigilante? You think it would be well appreciated, or do you think people would be like, oh shit?
I think the government's going to be pissed off about it, but the people are going to be like, hey, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm safe. Like, if the trend is all these people are killers or all these people are doing bad things, you know what? Good. It's what the police can do. Because you see all these people like that get arrested by the police that for these heinous crimes, they go to jail for 3 months and back out on the street. Like the Punisher, like you were saying with Daredevil, right?
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, when I hit him, they stayed down. Yeah, 6 feet down to be exact, actually, because
have a real people's hero on our hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like you said, like if the government's upset about it, that thing's gonna be snuffed out rather quickly. Like they want to be in
Oh, yeah.
control of that situation. If
Absolutely.
anything, it would be some like government funded vigilante would be my guess. They'd be like, hey, if anybody catches you, you are not associated with the police at all. But
Fucking
go ahead and
packing the
just go
side of
bang bang.
buildings with political
Yeah.
ads and shit. Okay, we get it.
I mean, it's the U.S. agent in Falcon and Winter Soldier, is it not? That's kind of what they were doing.
Yeah,
It was like we send him in to make an American statement.
By the way,
He
that guy,
does.
he's trouble.
Oh yeah,
That guy's a head case.
whatever his problem is, yeah, he's got the same thing that the Punisher has, I think.
You think? I think the Punisher's a little better than that. I think
Well, I think John Bernthal is a little better than that. That's why I'd argue that the
Absolutely.
Punisher. But we talked about like at one point, like I would have to go back to verify, but I know for a fact that at some point Punisher was just contracted to kill Spider-Man. Like that was kind of part of his introduction story. And then they took this character, everybody seemed to love it, and they went and ran with it. I mean, it's like the Daryl of Walking Dead, where it was like that character's not even actually in the originals, but the fans loved him. So here we go. We're gonna make this entire thing basically about him at that rate. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing that people kind of get to decide which characters stay and which characters go? Like if you latch onto a character that isn't even supposed to be that relevant to the story, and people are like, "Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one that I want to hang my hat on," and then the writers are like, well, we don't want to destroy viewership, so we're just going to go ahead and run with this character that has real no meaning to us. And now now we have to rush this backstory. And
what was Pepper Potts big? She wasn't big in the comics, was she?
Not necessarily. I mean, they play on the relationship a lot. You know, I think she's a big part of like when Tony Stark becomes a drunk, like trying to kind of pull him out of that. But yeah. I mean,
I think she played a lot bigger role than what she did in the comics, from what I understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, she doesn't get injected with that weird serum in the comics and become like a superhero in her own right, but which they never play on again. Like she gets her own suit in Endgame, but it's like, okay, she took that. I don't remember what it was called.
It was like the super serum or whatever it was, but I think they like gave her an antidote or something like that. But like that's just an example. Like they made her bigger because she was popular, or like. Yeah, it's everything's a popularity thing. Like if it's not popular, no one wants to put it on air. You know, it's not going to sell.
I know, and that's exactly what you brought up. It is such a cash grab. Like everything in the cinema world is a cash grab. Like that's all you're looking for. You're trying to generate this popular thing. Sometimes based on source material. Like I mean, they've even taken liberties in the Avengers and their story arcs where it's like, okay, yeah, this kind of happened, but we're going to explain it a little bit differently and blah, blah, blah. So it's...
In cinema, there's either good cash grabs or bad cash grabs. You know what I mean? Iron Man 3 could be debated that it was a bad cash grab. You know, some people like, you know, so it's either a good or a bad one.
Until Robert Downey Jr. was like, I need to spend 5 minutes on set and you guys will pay me $30 million. Yeah, I'll fucking sign up for that. Okay. Like it wasn't. I mean, once you're in, you're in. That's the thing. I mean, we've talked about this before. There's so many people that have wanted to play a role or haven't been considered for a role where it's like, what? I mean, Marvel knows what they're doing. They've casted everybody really well so far, minus Iron Fist, but that's neither here.
I think the story was bad. The person was bad. Like the whole thing was just. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't love it either. But, I mean, there's a chance at redemption. We're going into the multiverse of madness. We're going to see that coming up with Spider-Man now that there's Doc Ock, there's Sandman, there's Lizard, there's Green Goblin, there's all these characters. Are we going to see Venom?
Before we get into the movie trivia portion of this, which I have ready for you, what are your final theories on the Spider-Man coming out?
Come here. I think. Well, here's what I want to see. I want to see Venom.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, why have that cutscene at that time in that movie if he's not going to be relevant?
Watching that specific scene on the TV too.
Yeah, exactly.
About them talking about
a
it.
scene, yeah, a scene that's followed up directly. Like this is the lead up into No Way Home. Mackie, come here, buddy.
Yeah.
This is the scene in No Way Home. Like we're basically picking up where we left off in this movie. Maybe a month or two after, whatever. But he very clearly is distraught by the whole situation.
Yep.
And
because what Venom's like
he approaches
that guy.
That's why he approaches Doctor Strange in the first place, and then he gets sucked into the new multiverse, and we have to assume that's where this takes place. Is everything gets jumbled because of that? He gets pulled in, right? Because that's what Doctor Strange says. They're getting pulled in. They can't do anything about it. Come here. What's your problem? Come here. You need a CBD chew?
Nail it.
Perfect time for an ad read. Listen, people don't believe me when I say this dog can be obnoxious at times, but here we are, case in point. So what you should do if you've got a situation like this going on is you should go over to our boys at CBDBrothersUSA.com and get a nice little gummy, a little beef flavored gummy for him. Say, here, take this, buddy. Shh, rock-a-bye, baby.
Go nine real quick.
Yeah. I don't recommend just pumping it full of them. I wouldn't do that either. But, take the recommended dose, obviously. Maybe a slip of Benadryl in there, too, if he's getting unruly.
Go to sleep.
Yeah. Maybe a little shot of Jack in there, too, see what happens. No. But what CBD Brothers USA are selling is a 100% hemp product that this is the all-natural alternative to anti-inflammatories. If you got pain in your back, hey man, I'm suffering some of that right now. Take a little bit of that, put the salve on there, maybe take a little tincture drop. That's going to help you out tremendously. If you've got an issue, and you're not really fond of the tinctures, they got a couple different gummy flavors for you. They've got the melatonin in there too. If you want to take the long sleep, you could do that yourself. The long sleep. Okay, the good sleep, the deep sleep, the rest that you need. By the way, I have this band here. It tracks my sleep cycles and everything. I think it's lying to me. It said I slept great, like 2 weeks in a row. But if you look at my times, it's like 4 hours, 5 hours, 5 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours, and I'm like, I don't know what qualifies as good sleep for you guys, but if you're telling me 4 hours is good, then my body will probably adapt to it eventually. I'm sure.
Or just quit.
Go to CBDBrothersUSA.com. Use the code IDIOTSONMIC and get 25% off and free shipping. Go say hey to our boys over there.
That's right. Sexy Vegan Steak, here for all your CBD needs.
That's right. Now that we've calmed the situation, my wife's a trooper. I have to say that. Like, she puts up with that dog so much. He's an asshole to her. She's very forgiving.
Very understanding.
Yeah. She's like, well, I've been dating you for a while, so this dog is nothing, It's
like a light version of you.
But all right, easy now. We just witnessed what took place here. You're gonna say that's a light version.
He just shits on the floor.
Take that. He can be spiteful at times, but it is what it is. No, but I in terms of theories for Spider-Man, Tom Holland has come out and said, "Hey, this thing is sad. Like you're gonna see a lot of ups and you're gonna see a lot of downs." So I'm thinking
someone dies.
I don't know. I think he watches Ned turn to Hobgoblin in the end.
I think, all right, he watches Ned turn to Hobgoblin, but MJ might die.
Okay, I can respect that.
I don't think she will though, because I think she's a very likable character, and a lot of people who've been doing reviews on this have been saying that she is phenomenal and they absolutely love her. in
And
this.
there you go. Yeah, there it is again. Once again, it's like
Yeah.
maybe they have the discussion. Okay, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man comes in. Oh, there's MJ. There's MJ. Gwen snapped her fucking neck when I tried to save her.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have that. So maybe this is like, do we see like some sort of dark Spider-Man come out of the Amazing Spider-Man series?
Oh.
Do we see Spider-Man 2099? Like, there's so many. Do we see Miles Morales?
Don't show me Spider-Pig. Don't fucking show me Spider-Pig. I'll lose my damn mind. I'll just walk out of the theater right there. I don't want to see that.
You'll sit down and you'll enjoy. All right, end credit scene. You've watched the entire movie. You're so happy about it. Fantastic movie, right? The last of what sounds like there's going to be 2 end credit scenes.
Yep.
You just hear.
I'm done. I'll leave. I'm out of there.
Does that ruin the entire experience for you? Or?
No. I'm just going to pretend like it never happened. I'm going to leave. You'd be like, hey,
all right, I'll have 6 more of your finest boozy slushies, please.
Boozy slushies. God bless AMC, dog.
Listen, I am genuinely excited for what AMC has been able to bring to the game, okay?
No, the wife's informing me it's not AMC, so fuck you, AMC. Apparently it's...
yeah. Who is it?
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Slushies, AMC. We'll love you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we did... probably a good thing it's not the same theater, because what we would do... I mean, we saw the midnight showing of Black Panther... And we went to the bar first, had probably about 4 rounds there.
We had some food at the bar across the street, and then it was kind of hard to stay awake for some of the last portion of it. I was like,
woo! Hey, this buzz is coming down, okay? It's coming down hard. To the point where we grab a drink before the movie even starts, because we still got time to kill, and it's like, I don't want to sit here because I will drink another 2 beers. So let's go. We'll wait over by the theater. And we did that. Grabbed ourselves another round at the theater, because that's a thing now. You look me dead in the eyes with a full cup of Jack and Coke, and you're like, I will have to drive home at some point. Please drink this.
I am very responsible, but it also is enjoyable watching you have to drink it as well.
But so... This is one thing I would recommend if you are somebody who's going to go eat, grab a couple drinks before a movie, things like that. Have a buddy system, because what's going to happen is one person's going to go to the bathroom. The other person will stay in the theater in order to catch everything that's happening. You will come back in. That person will zip out of the theater to go to the bathroom while simultaneously trying to tell you every bit of information that you missed. That was so funny. What was it? It was Infinity War.
Yeah, it was Infinity War.
I come back in, you're getting ready to zip out, and all I hear is, they're in Wakanda now. They're just like,
they're in Wakanda now. Run away.
Oh my god. By the way, a terrible time to have to go to the bathroom, because that's a very big pivotal scene.
Oh, absolutely.
The opening
dude,
part of that.
I never pissed that fast in my life, dude. It's just...
I mean, you missed the best part of that entire movie, where it's like, this is my friend Tree, and he's like, I am Groot. I mean, I am Steve Rogers. And that's just it. That's how Marvel captivates us. That's how they're winning this thing. But what are your predictions for Spider-Man? You think somebody dies? It can't be MJ. Or is it MJ? Is it MJ? And then Andrew Garfield Spider-Man kind of consoles him and explains, like, hey, it's part of the fucking gig, pal.
Get it, dog.
Or do we even know? Do we even know if Andrew Garfield Spider-Man's been doing anything since Gwen died? You know what I mean? Like, is he the Jake Johnson version of Spider-Man from Into the Spider-Verse, where he just goes down this hole and he's eating pizza and he lives by himself and all this kind of shit? Like,
I can only
seeing that.
I can only hope Jake Johnson shows up. Like, it just glitches out and he shows up and he's just eating a piece of pizza and he's like, what the
hell? Putting baby powder in the soup. Yeah. That's one of the things that he tells Miles at the beginning.
Yeah. I think someone's going to die. I think someone's going to die in it. I don't know. Or someone's going to turn. It's going to be a real emotional turn, like you said, like Hobgoblin, that sort of thing. I do think we're either going to see a Fantastic Four and X-Men cameo or a setup for it. One of the two will be set up. I don't know when, I don't know where, but I just think one of those. But my biggest hope is that Venom's in it. I want to see Venom with Spider-Man.
Now you talked about like they're still kind of writing, like they were still writing the movie as they were
apparently.
filming, and that has to change everything that happened to Doctor Strange. Do we even know what Doctor Strange is about yet? I mean that's supposed to be coming out in like early next year.
Well, what you said, they rewrote and reshot like the whole damn movie. Essentially, I'm assuming that's because Spider-Man is how it's going now. You know what I mean? I mean, there's probably no regrets because apparently the reviews are fantastic, except for the one YouTuber that I don't really like. But I watch her reviews because whatever she doesn't like, I tend to like. So,
Yes, my arch nemesis.
yes, thank you for showing me the path.
Yeah, Anti-Rod.
I think trivia time.
You ready for movie trivia time?
I'm ready.
You just want to hear the echo thing, don't you?
Absolutely.
It is movie and TV trivia.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. You've had 2 weeks to prep this, okay? How confident are you? So is this 2 truths and a lie format like we did last time?
Oh, absolutely not. This is 4 true or falses and 1 you better just know it.
And this is in relation to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Correct.
Which we will see in theaters on Friday.
What is a key part of Spider-Man and his abilities that were altered in the first Spider-Man from the comics?
It was the web shot directly out of his wrists. He actually has web shooters.
I feel like you looked this up, you piece of shit. Now go ahead and ding, ding, ding.
No, please. Hold on. We got a thing for that now. Yeah, that was a pretty weird one. It was like he had a bump on his wrist and it shot webs out of it.
Like,
and then everyone else was like, no, those aren't real.
Before I got into the comics, that's how I originally thought it was. So I had no idea because I'd never seen any comics or anything like that beforehand. So
do yourself a favor. On Disney Plus, they do have like the '90s Spider-Man series on there. Give it a watch. Watch like 1 episode and you'll kind of see.
Which reminds me, if they don't do the 3 Spider-Mans pointing at each other and they mimic that meme in this movie, I'm going to be sadly disappointed.
They also need to do and it has to be like in the same format as in The Office when everybody's like
mm-hmm. There's
all right, put it down. Yeah.
Second movie, true or false? Spider-Man's original film suits were originally valued at about $10,000 per suit.
Ooh, per suit. I'm gonna say that's true.
It's false. They're valued at $50,000, and get this.
Good Lord!
Get this. A security guard that worked there stole several. Apparently, got caught, and when they caught him, they also found in his apartment a $150,000 Batman suit when he served on the time there as well.
By the way, I wanted to test that out because that actually does really hurt when you get an answer wrong and somebody hits that for you. Finding that out now.
I haven't had it yet, so I'm okay. All right.
$50,000 a piece. Did you? So This is like Ryan Reynolds. When they got done shooting the first Deadpool movie, he's like, "I am taking this. Like, I am taking the costume."
This is mine now.
Whether you guys let me take it or I find a way to sneak it out of here, it will be mine.
Oh, this is good.
Question 3.
It's true or false for you. All right. True or false? There were auditions for the spider who bit Peter Parker in the first Spider-Man.
That's got to be false. There's no fucking way.
It's true. It's true. It's true. They wanted it to resemble Black Widow, but the director wanted it to resemble Black Widow, but they couldn't use a Black Widow, so they actually painted on the colors for the spider.
Is it like what? Are they just reading the scene of the spider? All right, here's what's happening. You're in a test tube. Okay, this kid comes in to take pictures of who he wants to be his girlfriend. They're on a class trip. We need you to go ahead, scale down from the ceiling there, and bite this man right in the hand. Can you do that for us? No response from the spider. Yeah, yeah. My God, it's just like we had hoped for. It's everything we wanted.
This is the one. Pay him. I don't care what he wants.
This reminds me, did you ever see that meme where it was like there was an article that said scientists have learned how to wipe the memories of a snail? And they're like asking it questions after they've done the procedure. And it's like, okay, snail, can you remember where you were yesterday? And the snail doesn't respond, and they're like, oh my God, what have we done? that feels exactly like this scenario right here.
I thought that because you got to think CGI wasn't real big, you know, that was very limited with what they could do, right?
Yeah, but I mean, one spider in one small scene.
Yep, that was a real spider. Can you imagine? I couldn't have done that. I would not have let a spider crawl on me. No, thank you.
Oh, absolutely not.
It depends. What's my paycheck?
Yeah, right.
I might be able to suck it up.
Are we talking the RDJ money? Because you know what? Give me a full room of spiders. I'll walk through it.
Now, how much that spider getting paid though?
That's a good question.
No,
that's a good question.
Good question.
Is he part of the Screen Actors Guild?
No, I don't know. Do you hear that wisping in the background?
I do.
Oh, okay, that's the I think it's the rice. I don't know. It's taking a while.
What you guys have over there? Ancient Chinese secret, huh?
Oh, yes. So, next question. True or false? The tray scene. Now, let's remember this. Where Toby catches the food.
He did it.
Tray, right?
He actually did it.
And it catches everything on it. It was CGI.
False. He really did it.
You're right.
They did like hundreds of takes for that too. He was like, I don't want to glue these on or like it because they talked about like gluing the things on at least like, and it was, I mean, hey, hats off to Toby and what he's capable of doing.
Apparently they glued it to the prey to his hand, and that's how he caught him.
Yeah. How wild, like.
How many takes do you got to get that?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Like, they're wasting so much fucking time because they're like, no.
You got to think, it probably went in the air, and then they probably dropped it from above. But still, at the same time, like, it still has to land perfectly.
Yeah. Seriously, because, I mean, a bowl on a tray, that's got to be hard to catch, I'd imagine.
Oh, absolutely.
Anything trying to catch a tray, like, a tray for a hand? Get the fuck out of here.
Every time I think of
he went on to do 2 more movies.
every time I think of hands, I always think of How I Met Your Mother with when he plays Edward 40 Hands. Beer Khalees.
Yeah.
Beer Khalees.
Judge Fudge. What a great show. What a fantastic show. Yeah, I will be interested to see. I'm excited for Friday. The one theory I did have, okay, the Spider-Verse 2 movie is going to be coming out like end of next year, I believe.
You'd be surprised how many people think the Into the Spider-Verse is their favorite Spider-Man movie to date.
I'm not surprised. I watched it again the other day. Oh, it's so amazing.
It was awesome. I loved it.
Oh, for sure. Now, don't get me wrong. I love what Tom Holland's doing. I love what Tobey Maguire could do without the technology. Because there's one scene where it's just so bad. Like, he's swinging Mary Jane, and it's like this, and it's so like it looks just like a dummy. Like
they didn't have the tech back then to make great ones. I have one more question for you, buddy, and if you answer it how I phrase it, I'll answer it as, you know what? No, I'm just going to answer it how I have it here. True or false?
Just give it to me.
Alfred Molina actually named his tentacles and became very attached to them.
True.
It is true. Can you name all 4 tentacles?
All 4 tentacles? No, I can't name any of the tentacles. fucking
Larry,
Toby.
Harry, Flo, and Mo.
Oh, jeez. That's why he's back, man. They had to.
That's why
they had
that's
to,
why he was awesome as it, you know?
They had to rewrite the entire plot line so they could bring him back for these movies because he was so attached to the tentacles.
That and Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Dafoe.
Oh. What is it? It sounds like a frog and a parrot arguing with each other or something like that.
Dafoe.
They're at some fancy party, eating caviar, drinking these really fancy wines, and he's like, did you know Willem Dafoe sounds like a frog and a bird arguing with each other?
You know, no one sticks with us, all right?
That's a good point. Yeah, they're like, dude, I cashed out a while ago. I'm gonna be honest with you. They're going on and on about Willem Dafoe for the last 5 minutes of the episode. We will probably be giving a no spoilers review next week, so make sure you are there for that. We could discuss a little bit about what happened, very vaguely. You know, I know that we all know there's not a lot of people that are going to go see it like day of and everything like that. We understand that, so
we'll probably wait till
just
after
give
the
you a
first
nice
of the year to do a spoiler review.
Yeah,
after the first,
So that's our warning to you. Make sure you've seen it by then, because then you will have ample amount of time to go see it in theater if you've got the time for it. But anything else for today? I think we're going to wrap it up for today. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. I think we had a nice, good conversation about. I know we've been kind of hitting the MCU hard lately, but I mean, this consumes like you go to Twitter and you look at entertainment news, and it is Spider-Man.
Baby.
There's no getting away from it, and that's what we do. We talk about what people want to talk about. Obviously, if it's in the news that much, then it is a topic of conversation.
Listen, if you're pissed off we didn't talk about those damn birds and the mitochondria, I got some comments on it, so go ahead and throw it in the comments. Let us know you're pissed off about it, and we'll get it in the next episode, okay?
Yeah. I mean, we didn't hit on any of these, so we can discuss them next episode, by the way. But we'll wrap it up there for today. Thank you, everybody who tuned in and joined in with us. Rod's got some rice he's got to go eat. That's being boiled up or cooked up in the background. And with that being said, as always, friends,
cheers.
Cheers.